You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor. This is a case of Eggleston versus Eggleston.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
Ms. Eggleston, you and your identical twin sister state that the man who raised you recently shocked you when he announced that he is not your biological father. You've petitioned the court for a paternity test because you believe finances are motivating your alleged father's claims. Mr. Eggleston, your statement to the court counters that you know for sure that the plaintiff's father is a white man and you are not their biological dad. Now, Ms. Eggleston, how did you and your sister learn this news?
Okay, well, it all started about a year ago at his birthday party. And we overheard him speaking to some of our family members saying, y'all know these not my kids. That's what he was saying. We heard him. Now, we was listening, saying to our family members, y'all know they're not my kids.
I'm down here raising all these sins and nobody is helping. Okay. That's what he was explaining to the rest of our family members.
But our family members didn't say anything back. Yeah, nobody said anything. It was just dry. But I'm thinking he's just speaking under the influence of alcohol.
Let me ask you this, ladies. Before this birthday party, before this happened, in your whole lives, there had never been any other mention. The subject never came up that this man potentially was not your biological father?
No, none whatsoever. We grew up when babies as him being our father. He would come visit us. He would take us out. He's been there. He's on our birth certificate.
Yeah.
He's our dad.
All right, Mr. Eggleston, I need to hear from you. Why is it that you believe you're not their father when, sounds like to me, you've raised them as your own?
Yes, I did. Knowing from the start that I knew they wasn't mine, but you know, something overcame me that.
So let me get to the part. You knew their mother.
Yes, I did.
So how did that happen?
Well, I was coming home one day and she was in the backyard barbecuing, and I noticed this big, beautiful smile, big breasts. And,
notice those, huh?
Yeah, and the big cheeseburgers on the grill.
Okay.
Made a date, you know. Eventually, we got together, and next thing you know, I'm living in her mama's basement, and not too soon after that, she's on the phone calling some guy out, and I'm telling him to send money. You know, I'm pregnant, and she's looking at me going like this, you know. And
so when she said, "I'm pregnant," do you immediately think these may not be mine, or do you say these are my children?
I said it to myself. I didn't want to say it to her, but I knew it all along.
And why did you doubt specifically?
I don't know. That's probably my thought frame back then, because you know, maybe if I get in this relationship, it'll make my life better. It'll turn me around, you know.
Okay, so let's move forward to the birth of these two beautiful young ladies.
Yes.
You were there for the birth?
I was right there beside her.
So you were in the delivery room?
Yes, with my little mask on and doctor suit on.
Why? Why doubt?
When I seen them coming out, they was glowing.
They were glowing?
Yeah. Look how pale they was, and plus the gook on their body, you know, they was shining.
So when they were born, you say they were glowing because they were very pale?
Yes. And, you know, I didn't have intentions on signing it, but, you know, I had the spirit come over me, you know, the little devil and the angel.
Oh, you got both of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
The devil said, you know they're not your kids, don't sign it. Then the angel said, they're going to need you.
No.
Don't turn your back on them.
So what's your point of saying
why even tell us?
So why you sign
because, you know, now I'm getting this mouth, I'm getting this, you know, tension.
It doesn't matter if you
I never speak to you again. I hate you. I'm the sorriest dad around.
Because you wasn't doing what you were supposed to do.
You give you allowance?
It's not about allowance. What school clothes did you buy? How did you take care of us? Can you ask me and tell
I'm
me
a
what
single
you
parent.
did?
You know, I'm a single parent.
Okay,
you know.
and Mr. Eggleston, how do you respond to their claims that their childhood was less than stellar because you were negligent?
I was never able to buy 2 pair of Nikes, 2 cell phones, 2 this, you know.
You didn't buy anything.
Okay. So now I get punished because I'm not money worthy, you know, to keep them happy. It's all about money now. It's all about money now. If I cherish them with money, it'd be a whole new different ball game.
So let me ask you this, ladies.
I'm cooking them dinner every day. I'm making sure they come home and do their homework, but that's not good enough.
We didn't have no structure. Me and my sister could do what.
I'm a single man, you know. I got this responsibility now. I got
not trying to work.
Right, you know.
Friends over every day. We did it ourselves. Our basketball coach bought school supplies.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this, ladies. Ladies, let me say this. Let me say this to you. I know this is emotional. I know it is. For both of you.
It just sucks, because my mom, she's gone. So even if whatever the DNA test shows, we don't even have her side,
When did you lose your mom?
When we were 8 years old in front of us. You know what I'm saying? It happened in front of us, but nobody never asked how we were doing. He took us to Columbus, away from our family, away from, everything that we knew.
When your mom passed away, he did take you in.
Yes, and he took
A year
us.
later?
A year later, he took us in.
And before we left, my mom's mom told us he didn't want us till he found out he was gonna be getting $900 a month.
That is not
My
true.
grandma Ida, which
That
is,
is not
she
true.
said that he was not hollering about taking y'all to Columbus until he found out money
So
was
he
involved.
packed you all
and she
up
told us
and
to
moved you
prepare
to
for that.
That
She
is
said,
not
be
true.
aware.
That
She
is
said,
not
be
true.
aware.
That is not true.
We have no reason to lie.
Exactly.
That-
We
Okay.
don't want none of this.
Okay, and so he takes you and you move
We
to
go to
Columbus.
Columbus.
And how was your childhood there? Tell me about that.
Me and him never got along. Like, me and him fought all the time. Thought just because we kids, what we say don't matter and how we felt don't matter, but it do.
I'll be the first to tell you that it's things I should have did different.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Why now do you lean over this podium and say, I'm not your daddy, but I am your daddy?
Because I'm fussed at and cussed at, and
You feel
I
like
never,
they're disrespecting you now.
Yeah, I never speak to you again. You the sorriest dad in the world. I've been in their life for 18 years, 3 months, and 16 days.
All right.
Exactly.
Right. So,
18 years,
so what's
3
the
months, and
point
3
of us
days.
being
What more else I got to prove? What else I got to
Let me
prove?
have some order, because I've got to get to an important point. Mr. Eggleston, let me get something straight. You say that you know you're not the father, and you know that a white man is their father. Tell the court how you know this.
Well, we went to a doctor, and she got marks on her back, and the doctor questioned,
She had some marks on her back.
Yeah, some skin,
rash,
skin,
okay.
and
Which
they
I can
questioned.
clarify that
First
for
thing
you.
she come out the doctor, Daddy, you sure y'all got the wrong babies? You didn't get the wrong babies? I said, okay, here we go again. So I'm not the biological dad, okay.
So the doctor told you.
basically, I had this skin condition on my back, which is called tinea versicolor. They saying that this is what I got, and it's only seen in Caucasians. But I had just said, forget what they said, I'm gonna just figure out on my
Google
own.
it.
And I
Okay.
found out that the skin treatment is not just for Caucasians. It's
Did
also
you bring
seen
some of
by
that
people,
research
yes.
into court?
And
Jerome, will you
here's
hand me
some
that
of the
package?
evidence.
So in your mind, without expressing to them, your doubts are getting validated. Is that what I'm understanding?
They were validated from day one because when I met her mother, it's on her birthday. When is your mother's birthday?
August 4th.
August 4th.
Add 9 months to that.
You give it to the court.
7 months.
Okay. So the babies were born 7 months after you met their mother. Okay. Let me bring your witness up, ladies. Please approach the podium. Please state your name.
My name is Deshauna
Hello,
Hi.
Miss Deshauna
Johnson. I'm
Johnson,
sorry.
Miss Johnson. Let me first ask you what your relationship is to.
These are my second cousins. Their mother is my first cousin.
Okay.
Okay. She was 10 years older than me, but I was 10, and you kind of look up to them, the makeup, all that kind
Yeah,
of
like
stuff.
sisters. You were like the younger sister.
And I'm an only child, so that's how it was. But he's talking about a white man that actually, I don't know how to word it, but I want to say he was like her John. He didn't care if she was pregnant. He would have sent her money just because that's what they do. That's what they do. That was his purpose of being there. And she didn't just call once. He sent money often.
Exactly.
Before she got pregnant, he was sending money.
So what you're saying is their mom did have a relationship with a white man
Yes,
that
ma'am.
she knew and
Yeah.
she had a relationship with.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Eggleston, do you know who this man, Miss Johnson, is referring to is?
As far as I'm concerned, it was her sugar daddy.
Mr. Eggleston, did anybody ever tell you specifically that these young girls are not your children because
No.
a white man is their father?
I'm just putting 2 and 2 together. Like I say, all I can remember is the
So
phone
this is
call.
you speculating
Yeah,
based upon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the only
person that could even say anything that could give us any doubt that he's not the father was a friend of my mom.
Okay.
And she said that my mom told her directly that he was not the father.
same time,
When you
we
got
can't
that
have that.
information from the family friend, did you share it with
No.
your dad?
No.
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 So let me get a little further into these issues. Mr. Eggleston, your mother, she was unable to make it to court today, so she sent a video statement in. I'd like to play that statement, please.
Rodney said he's not the father. After 18 years, he should have said this from the very beginning when the first month when Sophia died. That's what he should have said when the twins were born. He should have said they weren't his, but he didn't. And I don't want Rodney to tell me ever again that he's not the father.
And that's true. And that's true.
Ladies.
And that's his own mom.
But
that's what we have to
let
go
them
through
speak.
every day. That's his own mom, my own grandmother. You know, he brought this to our attention off of something that he thought. When we was little babies, if you thought that we wasn't yours, then that's when you take us somewhere and you get that done and you keep that to
don't wait till
yourself.
we grow
Period.
up.
This is our only family that
They
we
never
know.
had to know.
Ladies, first of all, I need to say that your mother is a beautiful lady.
Thank
and
you.
I know regardless of what has happened, she is proud of you all for seeking out your own truth and for wanting to understand and being brave enough to ask the questions and find the answers to things that some people don't have the strength to do.
We found a journal of his. He don't know we read it, but we found a journal. And basically, I understand that this is something that he been fighting with himself and it's starting to hit him. So it's like. So then that makes us figure, okay, then now we understand why you treated us like we was always
it's something that he hits from.
stepchildren, like stepchildren. and
Exactly.
stuff.
You was something he been fighting with. He was
What-
saying,
what
like,
did it say specifically?
In the journal, basically, a main part of the journal was about us, and he labeled it his secret. He was saying, you know, he was in detail saying they came out and I seen them. He said that I felt something came over my body saying, you know, I'm gonna be in these kids' life. They're gonna need me one day.
Yep.
He said that I had to step up and be a father. It's like he was talking
Is
to
this true,
himself.
Mr. Eggleston?
Yes.
And
But
then
now I
it's
see
okay
now
if you
I shouldn't
do
have did
but you
that.
play
Like I said, I should have
role.
left up out of there. They hurt and stuff that maybe I should, you know.
But listen,
is that what they wanted?
listen to me. You have to understand, you speak out of frustration, but you've got to understand that those
There's
words are
always
daggers
kids
in their
listening.
hearts.
Exactly.
You get frustrated and you say something,
Yes.
but it affects how they feel about who they are.
That's issues I
And
have. I took after my dad, you know, mouthy, you know, a lot of things I don't think
you
before
get-
I talk.
before you speak.
You know, I got a bad habit of that.
I think at this point, we're ready to learn the results.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, whether the results say he is your father or he isn't, this court wants to understand what you want going forward.
You know, I have always had that daddy's little girl mentality.
Yeah.
You know, coming from my point of view, I want him to be the dad, you know, because it didn't matter what he did, how I felt, how she felt. I always knew that I'm gonna be daddy's little girl. You know, I'm always gonna cover from him, you know, but at the same
try to
time,
protect
and that's
them.
the thing, he has that over her.
Right.
Yeah, he has that on I feel like if you my dad, you still should have did better. If you're not my dad, then you
You
should have
still
kept your
shoulda did
did
Mr.
better.
Eggleston, I see you becoming emotional right now.
There you go. That was a big step.
And this is an opportunity for you to not speak out of anger and for you to speak from your heart, because I see you're very emotional. What do you feel now?
I'm going to always love them. Whether,
Right. That's
however
what
I
they-
show
that's
it,
what they
however I
want.
feel it, you know, they are part of me.
Well said. So, with that said, Jerome, please pass me the results.
You better be the dad. You better be the dad.
When it comes to whether Mr. Rodney Eggleston is the father of Antonia and Rodney Eggleston, Mr. Eggleston, Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. When it comes to whether Mr. Rodney Eggleston is the father of Antonia and Rodney Eggleston, Mr. Eggleston, you are their father.
I told you. She wouldn't have did it like that. She wouldn't have did it like that. I told you. I was there. Not when conceived, but I was there. You know. All this time, look just like him. Look at the head. I'm like, quit playing.
Exactly.
Just like all
So
this head.
basically, you know, like
a waste
we've been
of time. It's
telling
something he
him.
made up in his
No time.
mind.
Okay.
Wow.
I have to say something to you guys. We all wish we could rewind the
Yes, ma'am.
past
Yes,
and
ma'am.
make every wrong right,
Right.
but we can't.
I told you.
We can't do it.
Cannot. No, ma'am. You're absolutely
But the
right.
beauty and the blessing of it all is that we have today.
All right.
Right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And what I
you.
saw
Thank
as
you.
soon as that result came in, I didn't see a beat in hesitation, and that man walked from that podium straight over to his daughters.
Yes, he did.
Sometimes the love is in the little things. Sometimes he might not get the school nights right. He might not show up to all the games. He might not be able to get the book bag.
Exactly.
He's a human being that's gotten it very wrong. And sometimes people can only do better when they know better.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're absolutely
I'm looking
right.
at you, Mr. Eggleston. You probably, can we really keep it real, weren't the father that you hoped you were going to be to the kids, but you were making it up as you go along,
Yeah.
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So in some ways, you do owe them an apology
Of course I do.
for a lot of what
Yeah.
happened when they were growing up.
Exactly. Rodney, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I could have been a better dad,
It's a work in progress.
but I'm always here for you. I am your daddy for real now.
You
I
was the
could have
daddy
did things
did.
different, We're gonna be all right.
We're gonna be all right. Yes, ma'am. We're gonna be all right.
You know, this is one of
you.
these days where the court really feels overjoyed.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's right.
And yes, we've got Daddy and his little girls. I wish you guys a beautiful, long, happy life together.
Thank you.
And I want you to learn to love each other, but also to forgive each other.
Yes, ma'am.
Court is adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you.
I feel like you've been making mistakes for a long time.
And now it's
And
getting
it's
to the
about
point,
time
like,
that you just be quiet and stop making mistakes.
Basically, I feel that you've opened things that just should have remained closed.
I'm gonna do better, I'm here for y'all. I leave it up to y'all from now on, okay? I love y'all.